Sir, we had a discussion about fundamental data types. Next, and after that, even related to the string slice operator, we covered like anything. What is the next typecasting functions also already just started. Typecasting functions also just we started, right? Sorry, it's the very dangerous, very important, because input output statements are there. These type of typecasting is going to play the role like anything. So the first typecasting function I covered int. Again, the first typecasting function I covered int. Sir, int of, okay, 10.123. Can you please tell what is the answer we are going to get? So I'm trying to convert a float to int, obviously 10. Next, the int of 10 plus 20j I'm taking. Can you please tell what is the answer we are going to get now? 10 plus 20j, what we are going to get? Error, sir, not possible. Not possible. You can't convert complex to int type. Remember that. We can't convert complex to int type, complex to float type also. Regarding complex to int type, complex to float type, you can't convert, right? So even complex, we are not required to give that much importance. So for the exam, it is not there in our syllabus, because very specific in our day-to-day coding also, except these fundamental sessions, we never going to use these complex types. Don't worry. That's why you can ignore, not required to give that much importance, that much importance, sir, for that. Okay, well, so now what is the next thing? Int true I'm taking. Can you please tell what is the answer we are going to get? Int of true, sir. One. Int false I'm taking. Int of false I'm taking. What about its value, sir? 0. Int of false itself is the 0 like this, right? Okay, well. So these are the things what you people should aware. Int of false is the 0 like this, right? Okay, well. Sir, next int of sir 10 int of 1 2 3 I'm taking, sir. Can you please tell what is the output we are going to get? 1 2 3, perfect. Regarding 1 2 3, sir, int of 1 2 3.456. Can you please tell what is the answer we are going to get, sir? Int of 1 2 3.456. Can you please tell? Error. You can't, because if you want to convert string to int type, compulsory that string should be integral value. That compulsory should be specified only in the base 10. That's all. These are the simple rules you people should be aware about the int type. Now the next typecasting, sir, very important. Float function, sir. Float function is a very easy. Float is a very easy, sir. If I can take float of int, then automatically what is the answer we are going to get? 10.0. Regarding float of int, 10.0 like. So next float of 10.5 plus 10 plus 20j. 10 plus 20j, obviously what we are going to get, sir? Error we are going to get. So complex numbers we can't convert into float, we can't convert into int. Remember this one, sir. Next float of true, sir. Float of true, if I can take, sir, what is the answer we are going to get? 1.0. Next float of false, if I can take, what is the answer? 0.0 like this, right? Okay, all these things are already known things only, right? So next float of 10.5. Float of 10.5. What answer by default we are going to get, sir? 10.5. Remember this one. Sir, float of 10, sir. If I can take float of 10, no problem. Sir, 10.0 by default you are going to get. Okay, please make sure 10.0 by default we are going to get. But here the problem. The problem is so compulsory it should be either integral or floating point literal, but should be specified only in the base 10 only. Remember that, okay? Sir, binary, octal, hexadecimal, such type of things are not allowed. Compulsory it should represent either integral value or floating point value, no problem at all. So that's all. So we can convert any type to float type except a complex type. Whenever we are trying to convert str type to float type, compulsory string should be either integral value or floating point value, and should be specified only in the base 10. Any doubt, friends? Are you in the position to understand, right? Okay, that's the same copy paste only. I didn't do much things, right? Okay, man. Sir, complex is there, but anyway, we are not required to worry much about that complex numbers. So we have to discuss as less as possible related to the complex, right? Okay, complex function is also there, sir. Complex with one argument. What will happen is 10 plus 0j. Remember this one, 10 plus 0j. If you are passing just only 10, if you are passing only 10, 10 plus 0j. Sir, 10.5 if I can take, 10.5 if I can take, 10.5 plus 0j. Okay, if you are passing only one argument, if you are passing only one argument, that thing is by default considered as imaginary number. Sir, there are two numbers are there, sir. There are two numbers are there. So first one is the imaginary number, second one is the real number. Are you getting? First one itself is imaginary, second one itself is real number, right? Complex number with real part. No, here complex number, this is the real part, this is the imaginary part. Don't get confused. Sir, even here this part is called real part, this part is called imaginary part. Are you getting? There are first one is the real, second one is the imaginary part, right? Okay, one argument if you are passing like this, right? So if I can take complex of x comma y, then automatically it's going to take x plus yj. So if you are passing one argument, that one argument will become first argument, which is the real number. If you are passing two arguments, so first argument will become real part, second argument will become imaginary part. Clear for you? Yes, friends. Vinod. So do you have any doubt about this one? Perfectly it is valid. So reverse is not possible. I mean complex numbers, so float not possible, but float to complex numbers is always acceptable. No problem, right? I told. So just basic idea purpose I'm covering. It is not required for our certification exam. Sir, next the most dangerous thing. Please, you have to give special importance for this, right? Bull, sir. Bull. Any other type to bull is always possible, man. Any type you can provide to bull is always possible, sir. So bull of integral value, sir, I'm providing int type. Sir, very simple rule is the straightforward, right? Zero means false, sir. Otherwise true, sir. 0 means false, otherwise true, sir. Okay, that's all. So 0 means false, 0 means false I'm taking. So otherwise it will become true, sir. Okay, like I'm taking. Sir, next bool of, sir, this is the int. Not required to keep any explanation about this terminology, right? So for the int value, if you are passing int value, we are passing int type. If it is the 0, then false. If it is not 0, then automatically it is the true, sir. Okay, like we are going to get. Okay, sir. Now observe this a bit very carefully, sir. Bool of 0, false. Bool of minus 10. What the answer? Right, minus 10. What the answer? True itself is the answer, sir. Bool of 0, bool of minus 10. The answer itself we are going to get, sir. Here like this, right? Next, bool of, okay, float value. Float type. What is the behavior, sir? Sir, very simple. If float value is 0, sir. 0 means 0, 0.0, 0.0, both the things. 0, 0.0, something like so it is then the result is always false, otherwise the result is true, sir. Straightforward. Whether it is int value, whether it is float value, whether it is complex value, everything is 0, then it is considered as false. If it is not 0, then it is considered as true. That's what you should aware, sir. Okay, whether it is the int, whether it is the float, whether it is the complex, in all cases the rule is very straightforward. Okay, bool of 0.0 false, bool of 12.35 is the true. Bool of 0 plus 0j. 0 plus 0j. What the answer? 0 plus 0j. What is the answer? False. Whether it is int value, float value, complex value, if it is everything evaluated as 0, by default consider the false, otherwise true, sir. Okay, false. Bool of 0.1 plus 10j I'm taking. True, obviously. Okay, like this, right? Straightforward. Okay, nothing will be there, sir. So boss, argument is the 0, whether it is the float value, whether it is the int value, whether it is the complex value. If the argument is the 0, the result is always 0. If the argument is non-zero, the result is always false. Any doubt? Any doubt? Now the next thing, a bit dangerous thing. A bit dangerous thing. Please consider this one, sir. Please consider this one. So if here string type, bool string type, very straightforward. Bool of string types are very straightforward. If argument is empty string, then the result is false. If argument is empty string, result is false. Empty string, result is false. Non-empty, then non-empty. So it contain at least a space. Then the result is always true, sir. Then the result we are going to get a true. That's all. Any doubt? Any explanation is required? All the people are in a position to understand what the meaning of sir bool. What is the behavior of bool, right? Okay. Here one small point I have to tell for you people, right? Take very special care. In our day-to-day coding, this type of misperception will be there. Take very special care, sir. What that misperception here is Boolean type especially. Boolean type especially, sir. Okay, Boolean, any type to Boolean is always convertible, no problem at all. So what the problem here is, bool of none is also false. Richard, Rachit, bool of sir, like bool of none is also false only. Remember that bool of none itself is the false. None means nothing, right? Nothing means something like empty. Bool of none, false. We are going to get. So now, what is the next thing I have to discuss? There is one small point here. Let me highlight, sir. Here, just even in our regular programming, regular classes also I explained. One person is asking, Manoj, bool of null. It is not Java, it is Python. Null, such a type of terminology not applicable in Python. Okay, null is Java related terminology, not Python. Okay, so now the next here, just observe that. Sir, I'm asking name is equal to input of enter your name. Enter your name. Like this, I'm asking, sir. Enter your name. Next, are you married or not? Are you married or not? So here I'm taking input are you married? Are you married? Yes or no? Like this I'm asking, sir. Are you married? Like yes or no? Yes or no I'm asking. Or otherwise true or false. Okay, you have to provide true or false. Boolean value I'm trying to provide. Let me trying to typecast to the bool type. Sir, I hope for which purpose we are going to use input to read the data from the keyboard. Especially the people who are 1 or 2 members who don't know Python, just aware input function we can use to read the data from the keyboard. Of course, that is our next topic. There I will explain much detail. Don't worry, sir. Married, is it true or false? Now I'm taking, okay, print of, sir, name, your name, sir, whatever name you entered. Yes, I'm trying to get name. Next, what is your marriage status? Okay, is this person is the married or not? Sir, let me take married status also. Married status also. Like this, I'm taking, sir. Okay, well, sir, now let me run this code. If I run this code, observe the problem. If I run this code here, the py tester.py. Okay, so py tester.py. Okay, now sir, enter your name. Assume that Deepika. Okay, yeah, are you married? Yes, ma'am, married. Deepika already married. Okay, so name Deepika, married, true. Perfectly, it's going to work, sir. Now observe that. Now observe. Enter your name Durga. Sir, are you married? No. I didn't married, man. Okay, I didn't married. False. Are you getting? I didn't. So then immediately if I can ask then name Durga, married is the truth. So don't get shocked. How the Python is going to aware Durga sir already married? Are you getting? How the Python aware? I provided false only. I provided false only. Even I'm trying to typecast to the bool type. Even I'm trying to typecast to the bool type. Are you getting right? Even I'm trying to typecast to the bool type. Still it is considered true only. Good, good. You have to identify that. By mistake, by flow, some people are going to say, sir, why sir this type of thing is coming even though I'm using converting to the bool type like. Sir, very simple. Very simple. Sir, this total whatever input you are going to provide is simply treated as string type. Whatever input you are trying to provide, simply treated as a string type. Remember this one is simply treated as string type, right? Okay. So now take a bit special care about this terminology. Now, whenever you are trying to enter either true or either false, anything you are trying to enter, it is a non-empty string. Non-empty string convert into Boolean means it is always a true. It's always a true, sir. Need not be true or false. You can enter anything. If that string is non-empty, then it's always going to consider it as true only, even though you entered false. Getting the point? Suppose, yes, if I can take name is Durga, enter, are you married? I don't want to provide anything. If I'm not going to provide anything, then you are providing empty string. Empty string means false. Observe that empty string means false. I kept the enter. Enter means empty string is going to come. That empty string, what is the answer? Is simply treated as false. Getting clarity? Please? Okay, well. Then immediately in your mind, the next question is going to come. A big question is going to come like this. Okay? A big question will come. What is the problem here? If it is the case, then how I can ask end user to provide true or false? How I can ask end user to provide true or false? If you want to provide true or false, under this true or false should be internally treated as Boolean only. If you want that, then instead of typecasting functions, evolve function we require to use. Are you getting? There is one concept is there in Python, evolve. In the next somewhere we are going to discuss very much about that. Evolve function is there. Evolve function, what it's going to take is your input, even though you provided in string form, but internally that string, is it int value, or is it float value, or is it Boolean value, or is it complex number, or is it list or tuple like? So whatever data you are providing into the corresponding type automatically will be converted. So superstar eval is it can able to convert into any internal type automatically based on your provided value. Okay, like so now we should not use bool to handle such a type of requirements. Happily we should go for eval. Can you please evaluate two corresponding type like this? Enter your name. Okay, like Durga. Enter your name, Durga. Are you married? No, man, I didn't marry. Then automatically name Durga, married, false. Problem and the corresponding solution. Clear, right? So evolve definitely it's going to be helpful at certain point. Please make sure. Class level conversions means what? Sidesh. Class level conversions means what? I mean into the corresponding student type, customer type, something like that. Correct? First thing, how you can pass student object from the command prompt? How you can pass student object from the command prompt? Customer object from the command prompt. Okay? So that's all. Sir, this is about what is the typecasting? I mean bool function, a bit a dangerous thing. Sir, next last one str, sir. Last one str function. Oh, for this, no, the most rarely used typecasted function is str, because most of the times our data is always coming. Our data is always coming in str form only. Most of the times, okay, is always coming. That's why. That's why. So what will happen there? What will happen there? Here is we are not required to perform typecasting. Very rare we are going to use. Sir, 10 you can Next and after that 10.5 you can pass. Next 10 plus 20j you can pass, no problem at all. Next str of true you can pass, no issue at all. Like sir, any other type to string type is always possible. Any other type to string type is always possible, no problem at all. Clear, right? Okay, that's all. So Boolean object means you can't pass Litu. You can't even that reference is pointing to you. You are always going to, yeah. One small doubt, sir. Litu is asking a small doubt. Can you please have a look once, sir? Up to this any doubt? Up to this any doubt? Is it clear for all of you, right? So str you can convert any type to str, no problem at all. Now Litu is asking Boolean object. Object means object reference is going to pass. Object means object reference. Very simple. S is equal to student. I'm taking S is equal to student. I'm taking bool of yes. Bool of yes. Very simple. Is S pointing to object or is S value is a none? Is the S pointing to student object or S value is the none? Litu. Yes, it is. If it is pointing to object, true is the answer. If its value is a none, false is the answer. Getting right? So based on this reference, pointing to object or null, none. If it is pointing to object, okay, true. Not pointing to object, then false is the answer. Next, what about this bool of method? Bool of method. I didn't get Siddesh, your requirement. What it means? What you are asking this one? Evolve of method. Method means, can you please tell what thing? Method name you are going to pass? We are calling a method call. If that method call, we are calling a method call. Correct, right? Okay, some one method call I want to take. Correct, Siddesh? Yeah. Then what will happen? If this method is going to return, I mean whatever the type it is going to return, then obviously it will be converted into that. No problem at all. Regarding whatever the type you are going to pass, it will be converted into that. Eval can able to do that. Yeah. Okay. If it is the boolean, convert it into a boolean. The name itself indicates, right? Result status, true or false, yes or no, something like. Definitely this M1 is going to return boolean value. It will be converted into the corresponding boolean type. Acceptable. Yes, it should return something. That return value, anything. So it will convert into underlying thing. Okay. That's all. So these are various important points, various important points you people should aware related to fundamental data types, right? Next, there is one more point is there. Multiple times these basics are very important, sir. Do you know all fundamental types? Whatever types we covered up to this, sir, only 5 types we covered. We played games with only 5 types, sir. One is int type. Second one is the float type. Third one is the complex type. Next, fourth one bool type. Next, fifth one str type. Remember that. All these fundamental types, all these fundamental data types are immutable. Remember this one. All these fundamental data types are immutable. Very important. So maybe sometimes indirectly or directly this point we require to use immutable. What is the meaning of immutable? Okay, very simple, sir. Immutable means non-changeable. Regarding non-changeable, sir, you can't change. You can't change. Non-changeable. You can't change. Such type of behavior is called immutable. Once we create an object. Once we create an object, we can't change its content. We can't change its content. by mistake, if we are trying to change, by mistake, if we are trying to change with those, can you please tell what will happen? Sir, observe this one. Immutable means you can't change its content. Immutable means you can't change its content. But still, I want to change its content. What will happen, sir? Very important question for you people. Observe that. Still, we are trying to perform the change. By mistake, if you are trying to change, what will happen? What will happen? Good. By mistake, if we are trying to change, what will happen? What will happen? Yes. Please make sure with those changes, a new object will be created. A new object will be created. So in the existing object, we can't perform any changes, right? In the existing object, we can't perform any changes. Remember this one. Okay, remember. So once we create an object, okay, we can't perform any changes in that object. Still, we are trying to perform some changes. With those changes, a new object by default will be created. Is it clear for all of you, right? Sir, how you can able to conclude? How you can able to conclude, sir? Very simple terminology, sir. Simple. I'm taking x is equal to 10, y is equal to x, sir. X is equal to 10, y is equal to x. Now, according to these two lines, sir, here 10 is an object. X is the reference variable pointed to that. Okay, y is also pointed to the same x. That's all. Now, x is equal to x plus 1, sir. I'm trying to increment x value. Can you please tell y value will be incremented or not? That's about my term. Y value will be incremented or not? Okay, please make sure. Once we created an object, sir, you can't perform any changes in this object. This object content is always final. Boss, I'm trying to increment x value. If you are trying to change with those changes, a new object will be created. With those changes, a new object will be created, right? So now, for that new object, this reference variable will be assigned. So now this reference variable will be gone. So y is pointing to 10, but x is pointing to 11. Observe the difference, right? You can't perform any changes in this object. You are trying to change with that, a new object by default will be created. Any doubt? Do you want me to show? Here, just observe that x is equal to 10, y is equal to x. X is equal to 10, y is equal to x. Print of x comma y. Okay, sir, this is print of x comma y. Now x is equal to x plus 1. Now observe, at the beginning 10, but at the next x is equal to x plus 1. Now x value will become 11 followed by 10. Any doubt? Okay, that's all. This is what you people should aware very clearly, right? Okay, so what is the meaning? What is the meaning of, okay, this one you should aware clearly, right? Okay, you can't perform any changes in that existing object. By mistake, if you are trying to perform any changes, with those changes, definitely a new object by default will be created. Remember that. Clear, right? Okay, well, sir, now I want to tell still here some clarity I want to provide so that you people can feel more comfortable, right? Now I'm taking, observe carefully, sir. S1 is equal to Durga, I'm taking. S1 is equal to Durga, I'm taking. S2 is equal to S1. Now, how many objects are there? How many references are there? Don't get confused. How many objects are there? How many references are there? Please have a look once. One object, but two references are there. One object and two references are there. Now, if you want the diagrammatic representation for these things. If you want a diagrammatic style, sir, here just observe that this is. So next here Durga. What is the content, sir? Durga. Durga is the content. Now itself is Durga. Durga is the content. S1, S1 point into this, S2 point into this one. Regarding S1 and S2, both are pointing to the same object. Okay, well, excellent. Now S1 is equal to S1 plus S1 plus software, like this I'm taking, sir. S1 plus software. Because of this line, anyone can you please tell what will happen? You are trying to add software to S1. Is this change will be performed in the existing object? Is this change will be performed in the existing object or new object will be created? Please confirm. Is this change will be performed in the existing object or a new object will be created? Compulsory new object, because string is immutable. That's why, right? Okay. Now, so S1 plus a software, Durga software, a new object got created, sir. Okay. This is Durga software. Durga software. Now, sir, here Durga software, like a new object will be created. Only S1 point into that object. Only now onwards S1. Only S1 point into this object. Regarding only S1 point into this object. Okay, like now you, if you want, you can ask ID of S1, ID of S2. Compulsory different, right? Okay. Now let me print S1 content. Print S2 content. S2 content. Now, what is the output by default we are going to get? Both are different. S1 content will become Durga software. S2 content will become just Durga. Friends, everyone in the position to understand why this behavior? Why this behavior? Okay, well, sir, immutability, once we create an object, you can't perform any changes. You can't perform any changes. If any person trying to perform changes, with those changes, a new object by default will be created. Okay, excellent, sir. We are getting clear. But can you please show an example with the mutability also? That's about, then we will get much clarity. You people may ask, now the same cinema I'm taking, observe that, sir. I'm taking L1. L1, it is the list object I'm taking, sir. Sir, L2 is equal to L1. Now have a look once, sir. How many list objects are there? How many list objects are there? Hey, respond. 4 list object. How many list object? Only one list object. Sir, only one list object, but 2 references point into the same list object. Okay, not internal elements. I'm talking about how many list objects are there. Only one list object. Only one list object, like this. 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40. Maybe in the next I will explain what is the list and so on. Don't worry about that. Sir, this is L1 and L2 point into the same object, right? Now, I want to add another element to L1. I want to change the content by using L1, sir. Yes, how you can able to change the content? L1 dot append R. L1 dot append R. 50 I'm taking. L1 dot append R. 50 I'm taking, sir. So now just you are trying to change the content of L1, content of this object by using L1. Is where that change will be there. With that change, a new object will be created, or in the existing object it will be performed. Yes, the changes will be performed in existing object only, because list is mutable. List is mutable. That's why. So now 50 will be added in the existing only. Now that addition will be reflected for both L1 and L2. Are you getting right? Once we create list object, happily you can perform any changes in that. So new object won't be created because the list is mutable. Remember that. Are you getting the point? Are you able to understand? Where is the proof for that? Where is the proof for that? Okay, very simple. L1 dot append R. L1 dot append R. 777 I'm taking, sir. Need not be 50, 777 I'm taking. Okay, well, different. So print of L1, print of L1, print of L2, L2 like this, right? I'm trying to find L1 and L2. Regarding, I'm trying to find L1 and L2, right? Now observe, so the change will be reflected for both the references because internally, how many objects are there? Only one object is there. In that object only changes will be performed. Now, everyone can able to understand what is the meaning of mutability and immutability. Any doubt? Any doubt? Are you getting the point right? So, once we create a string object, you can't perform any changes in that object because it is immutable. If any person trying to perform changes, with those changes, a new object by default will be created. A new object by default will be created. This is nothing but immutability concept. Once we create list object, we can perform any changes in that object because it is mutable. Mutable means changeable, immutable means non-changeable. Okay, all fundamental types, okay, are immutable. Means, sir, whatever types we covered, boolean, int, float, complex, bool, and str, all these fundamental types are immutable. Remember this one. List, next set, dictionary, these type of things are mutable. You should have clear clarity about this point, right? Okay, remaining data structures anyway, I will discuss next level, but up to this, all fundamental types must be immutable. That's what you should aware. Any doubt? Why is the list kept mutable? Changeable. That is the programming requirement. How you can decide content is always fixed, man. If the content sometimes maybe keep on changing. Shopping cart application is there. Shopping cart is there. I may add some items, I may delete some items. In our programming language, if everything is immutable, then how you can allow the end user to perform some changes to that? That's why we should have both mutable components, immutable components. Getting right? So I'm unable to see your name. What your name? That's Narayan. Someone who why is the list is mutable? Can you please tell your name? What's your name? Yeah. Now, Sudeep, can you please log out and log in again so that it's very easy to communicate with your name. Log in. Okay. So this is what about mutability? What about immutability? These are terminology you should aware very clearly, right? Okay. So next, there is one more small thing by default will be there. Take a special care about this terminology, right? Okay. Here, this point up to certain level, it is varied from system to system. This behavior take a bit dangerous. Take a bit special care, sir. Okay. This is not a standard thumb rule. You not required to remember, but just having the basic idea. Very important, sir. Sir, here do you know? Suppose if I created an int object 10 is there, sir. Assume that 10 is there. So now if Amol, in the next level we will discuss that point while covering tuple. Just remind once your doubt. Sir, here do you know he is asking a small doubt. Just remind once. It's not correct time to talk. Here, so difference between mutable and immutable in real time example. Yes, definitely remind once while covering tuple concept. Just remind once this bit. Okay. Now here just observe that I'm taking A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10, C is equal to 10, D is equal to 10. How many objects are there? Can you please confirm how many objects are there? Yes, four objects are there. Are you getting? Tejaswini, we will discuss shallow copy, deep copy. This knowledge is not enough. Somewhere at last I will discuss. Don't worry. Okay. How many objects are there, sir? Yes, one object or four objects. Can you please confirm? A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10, C is equal to 10, D is equal to 10, like this. So especially in the case of immutability, Python virtual machine is going to create sir, some predefined objects at the beginning only. So if your requirement is in that predefined object pool, now it is always going to use existing object only. Okay, whenever you are starting Python application, anyway there are some objects most commonly required. For most commonly required objects, at the beginning only Python virtual machine is going to create, sir. At the beginning only Python virtual machine is going to create at the beginning. Now here just observe that if you are asking a is equal to 10, is it there in the pool or not? Yes, ma'am. Oh, a is pointing to that. B is equal to 10, is it there or not? Yes, ma'am, it is there. C is equal to 10, it is already there. D is equal to 10, it is already there. Suppose if I can take a or otherwise some x is equal to 300. First it will check in the pool. In the pool, this 300 is not there. That's why create a new object 300 and the x is pointed to that. So for the most commonly used ranges, Python at the beginning only it is going to create objects. So if that object is already available in the pool which was created by the Python at the beginning, then existing object only will be reused. Okay, please make sure this point right. But what is that range? Maybe varied from system to system, varied from what we call version to version. Okay, Python flavor to flavor. Okay, we can't expect exact range, but this type of behavior is there. But this type of pooling concept, sharing the same object concept, applicable only for particular ranges only. That range is most commonly used ranges. Okay, like now, can you please tell how many objects are there? Now, can you please answer? After completing this discussion, how many objects are there? Only one object, but four references point in the same object. Where is the proof, sir? How you can conclude? Very simple, man. A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10, C is equal to 10, D is equal to 10. Let me print ID of A, comma, print ID of B, print ID of C, comma, print ID of D. Okay, like this I'm taking. Sorry, what is the address? Address says I'm trying to print. ID means address. Address says I'm trying to print. Now, can you please consider what is the answer by default we are going to get? Am I getting the same answer or not? Yes, I'm getting the same answer. Okay, like please make sure, sir. Now I'm trying to just instead of 10, I'm trying to replace with 300. Replace all. So 300 I'm taking. Now what will happen? Observe that. Is it the same? 5830064, 5830064, like this. So like 5830064. Okay, one object only. That's why. So we can't tell exactly what is the range. Now let me take instead of 300. Now I'm taking 10,000. Is it going to replace all? What is the address we are going to get? Maybe is it the same answer? Okay, it is the same. But if you are going to use this one, so in some other flavor. Okay, now maybe with me, maybe Python idle is there. Okay, let me consider Python idle. Okay, sir, here A is equal to 10,000, B is equal to 10,000, C is equal to 10,000. Like this I'm taking, sir. ID of A, just I'm trying to print. Okay, ID of B, I'm trying to print. Have you observed? Are you seeing the difference? Yes, friends. Are you seeing the difference? In the ID, are you seeing the difference? Python ideal. Just I'm using ID of A. This is 456. But ID of B. Okay. Let me take ID of C. Then automatically different answers. So if I use Python shell, internally it's going to create different object. But if I execute that, okay, from normal just like Python program, then it's always going to use the same address. So that's why. So my intention of telling this point is, some people sometimes, not clearly visible. Charan, are you seeing? Are you seeing these values, friends? Okay. Now here just observe that we can't expect the exact behavior, right? But most of the times, okay, 0 to 256, 0 to 256. Suppose A is equal to 256, B is equal to 256. Sir, like ID of A, okay, ID of B. Are you getting ID of B? Now are you seeing the same address or not? Are you seeing the same address or not? Okay? Yes, we are using the same address. So we are getting the same address. Means it is using internally same object only. That's why, especially in the ideal shell, okay, Python shell. Do you know, sir? 0 to 256. Sir, for int, always going to reuse the same object. But if you go to the float type, it will never going to reuse the same object. Remember that. Sir, in the shell, especially I'm talking, sir. Boolean case always reuse the same object. Str case always reuse the same object. Complex, sir, it never going to reuse the same object. Like here observe int in this range, float no, boolean always, str always, complex no. Like this, there is something is there. But anyway, just for your idea purpose, sometimes maybe existing object only will be reused because of this immutability, because of performance improvements. Like for that, just aware this point also in your mind. But for the exam sake, you people should not require to worry about this point. What ranges and so on, ignore, no issue at all. Are you getting what is the immutability? With example, it's a very clear for you people, not required to keep much explanation about that. Okay. Now fundamental data types, and then fundamental data types, and even so what about slicing and so on. Okay. Now there are some more extra data structures are there. We require to discuss these things to get the basic idea. Sir, one is list type. Remember this one. One is list type. Remember this. Do you know, here just observe A is equal to 10. How many objects you will represent by using A? Sir, usually I'm using this A to represent how many objects? Only one object. Only one object in the object type. Sir, if I'm taking B is equal to true. Sir, we are using B to represent Boolean object. C is equal to 10.5. We are using C to represent the float object. Float object type. Sir, we are using A, B, C just to represent objects, one object. But sometimes our programming requirement is, I want to represent a group of objects. Something like Facebook post comments are there. The comments of a particular Facebook post, how many comments will be there? Is it only one comment or multiple comments? Multiple comments are there. I want to represent a group of objects as a single entity. Then we require to go for collections concept. Then we require to go for collections concept. Collection means a group of objects. The name itself indicates. Collection means a group of objects, right? Okay, well, sir, in that collections, there are two types of collections you people should aware, sir. Okay, in the collections, there are two things, sir. Individual objects, key value pairs. If you want to represent individual objects, you can go for either list or tuple or set. These are three things meant for individual objects, a group of individual objects. If you want to represent a group of key value pairs, then we can go for dictionary. Regarding dict types, you should aware. Okay, so first get the basic idea. Forget about internal differences. First get the basic idea. So if you want to represent a group of objects, then we should go for collections. Individual objects, first object, second object, there is no relation at all. Then we should go for this list of tuple or set. Key value pairs, then we should go for dictionary. Clear? Okay. Here, JSON is something like a dictionary, but need not be exactly dictionary, but something like a dictionary, Ashok. JSON itself is something like a Python dictionary. Okay. Now, here, just have a look once about this one, sir. Here I'm taking L is equal to 10, 20, 30. Okay. What is this one? What is this one? L is equal to 10, 20, 30. Forget about just the internal properties. It's a list. Individual objects. Sir, this is the first individual object, second individual object, third individual object. Individual objects, right? Next, if I consider, okay, sir, Durga, okay, or otherwise 101 Durga, 101 Durga, comma. 102 Ravi. Regarding 102 Ravi, comma. 103 Shiva. 103 okay Shiva, like I'm taking, sir. Now take a bit very special care. This is the people who are coming from Java background, they may consider it the map, but in Python this word is called dictionary concept. Okay, dictionary, key value pairs. Do you know, observe the difference between this one and this one, sir. So here, first object, second object, third object, there is no difference. First object, second object, third object, all are different, all are individual objects. If you want a group of individual objects, then we can go for either list or set or tuple. But if you want to represent a group of objects as key value pairs, then we should require to go for dictionary. Have you remembered, right? Now observe this is type of L. Okay, let me print type of L. Print type of L. Okay, like print type of D. Print type of D. Type of D, sir. Okay, like R 1 minute. Here I'm taking L. Next T is equal to 10, 20, 30. S is equal to 10, 20, 30. Are you seeing? Either L, T, S. All these things are nothing but. Do you know, individual objects? First object, second object, third object. No relation at all. But here all these things are key value pairs. Yes, related object. 101 associated with Durga. 102 associated with Ravi. 103 associated with Shiva. Like this, right? So if you want to represent individual objects, you have either list or tuple or set. But when we should go for list tuple set, differentiation I will explain. First get individual objects. Next, a key value pair itself is nothing but dictionary, like this, right? Any doubt? Now observe this one. Type of L. Next, type of T. Next, type of S. Yes, sir. Like this. Now, what is the output we are going to get, sir? Now have a look once. Let me execute. So the first one is the list, second tuple, third one is the set. But last one is what types are data type. So these are 4 data types we require to discuss a bit in detail. Are you getting the point? For the exam sake, these things are a bit more important things, right? That's why you have to aware all these things. What about list, tuple, set, dict, and the most commonly used methods also we should aware. Okay. So now when we should go for list, set, tuple. Can you please observe a bit very carefully, sir? List, set, tuple. Observe a bit very carefully about this one. These are 3 things we require to go for individual objects. individual objects. Dict, we require to go for key value pairs. Correct, right? List, set, tuple, individual objects. Dict, key value pairs. First, you should evade this reference, right? Next, in this, when we should go for list, set, tuple, what is the major difference? Are very important points I'm talking related to interview room. Very important things I want to talk with respect to interview room. That's why. So you people should be aware. Next, there are some more types are there. Bytes type, byte array type, frozen set. These things are not required for our certification exam. Yes, all these things in our regular sessions we cover. Even in our day-to-day coding also we are not going to use. That's why ignore. Okay. Now this is a list, set, and then tuple. The people who required those just go through our videos, whatever we share. Okay. List, set, tuple. Okay, like in here the main difference is observe the important gunshot points about list, sir. Gunshot points. Sir, all these things are individual objects. All these things contain heterogeneous objects. Heterogeneous objects means even different type of objects also you can store. 4 integer objects, 2 float objects, 2 string objects, and 2 boolean objects. Like you can able to represent, sir, different types of objects also. But very the major difference for these is in the case of list, gunshot points are order will be preserved. Order will be preserved. Sir, order will be there, sir. Next, it is mutable. Are you getting? Gunshot point. Order will be preserved and it is mutable. Next, duplicates are allowed. Even duplicate objects are there. No problem. It is allowed. Duplicates are allowed. So, order will be preserved. It is mutable. And the duplicates are allowed. Like this, right? You people should be aware. Are you getting? Any doubt? Friends, are you in the position to understand, right? Okay. Now, the important conclusion. You people should be aware, sir. Okay, well. So, what it means, sir? Mutable, okay. Anyway, thoda class is there. Duplicates are allowed, order will be preserved. What it means, sir? Can you please explain with a small chota example? You may ask. Assume that L is equal to one more point, sir. If it is a list, we can represent elements. By using square bracket notation. Okay, list means square bracket notation. Remember that. Now L is equal to list, empty list. L is equal to empty list I'm taking, sir. L dot append of 10. L dot append of 10.5. L dot append of 2. L dot append of Durga like this. Now print of L, sir. Can you please tell first which element added? First which element added? 10. Next which element added? 10.5. Next true. Next Durga. Sir, the first question is append means to add element to the list. Okay, if you want to add element to the list, then append is the method. First we added 10, next we added 10.5, next we added true, next we added Durga. Straight here, immediately, if I run this code, what is the output we are going to get? Yeah, you can add complex numbers also, no problem. Charan, complex numbers also you can add. 10, 10.5, comma, true, comma, Durga, we are going to get. This is the output we are going to get. Sorry, if I run this code, don't worry, Durga. Now, are you seeing insertion order? In which order we added elements? In the same order, data is there. Are you getting in the same order, data is there? That is nothing but insertion order, preserving insertion order. Second one, different types of objects are allowed or not? Yes, why not? 10, 10.5, one is int type, the second one is the float type, the third one is the bool type, the fourth one is the str type. Perfectly acceptable. 10.5 true, Durga. Perfectly acceptable, no problem at all. Any doubt? Friends, are you in the position to understand? Yes, perfectly it's acceptable, no problem at all, sir. Okay, well. So next, like this is so insertion order. I want to add L dot append of 10. L dot append of 10 like this, right? So now total, how many times I added 10? How many times I added 10? 5 times I added 10. Are you getting? Either duplicates are allowed or not allowed? Yes, duplicates are allowed or not allowed? Allowed. Allowed. Duplicates are allowed. Allowed like this, right? Now, observe very carefully, sir. Here, 10, 10, 10, 10. Now, what is a list? When we should go for list? What are the properties of the list? All the points are very clear with this example. Order will be preserved. Mutable means changeable. Duplicates are allowed. Represents elements by using square bracket notation. Any doubt? Friends, everyone in the position to understand this concept. Yes, at the beginning only we can add a short. At the beginning only we can add something like, sir, if you know the elements already at the beginning, okay, L is equal to 10, 10.5, true, okay, like this type of style we can able to do that. No problem. If you know the elements already at the beginning, sure. By using append method, all elements at a time, append is always going to take only one argument. It won't take many arguments. Not possible. Clear? Anyway, list. Getting the basic idea about the list. Okay. So next, one more point I have to discuss. Can you please confirm what is the first element? Forget about these many elements. Forget about that. Duplicates are allowed anyway. What is the first element? First element 10. What is the next element? 10.5. True, Durga, like this. Now I'm asking print of L of 0, sir. Print of L of 0. Sir, once order is there, then immediately index slicing applicable. Indexing, slicing applicable. Applicable, right? So now L of 0, what is the output? Please respond. L of 0, everyone of our knowledge is more enough. 10 is the answer. 10 itself is the answer. Have you observed? 10 is the answer. L of minus 1 I'm taking. What is the answer? L of minus 1 I'm taking. What is the answer we are going to get now? Can you please confirm? L of minus 1 I'm taking. Any doubt? Minus 1, Durga. Because you know last element. You know Durga, last element. We covered in the last session, right? In the case of string, Python supports both positive index and the negative index. Positive index means left to right. Negative index means right to left, reverse direction. Okay, like next, L print L of print L of I'm taking. Sir, here print L of colon here just a colon 3 I'm taking. Anyone can you please tell the answer? Anyone can you please tell the answer? Print of L of colon 3 I'm taking. Yes, what the answer we are going to get? So 0 to n minus 1. 0 to n minus 1. 0 to 3 minus 1 means 2. 0 to 2. 0, 0, 1, 2. 10, 10.5 true. 10, 10.5 true. Like this we are going to take it. That's all. 10, 10.5 true. Like this we are going to get. So the important conclusion here is order will be preserved, mutable, Duplicates are allowed. Represent elements by using like this. Next, the indexing and the slicing are allowed. Indexing and the slicing are allowed like this, right? Up to this, not required to keep any explanation related to list types. Okay. What is the next one? I called the tuple. So it is not a complete discussion about this Python. Remember, only for the exam sake, important things. Just go through the theory, but not everything. The people who are compulsory, you require to aware from the scratch each and everything. Sir, better to attend the regular Python sessions, not certification session, or otherwise better to get the videos and then go through the videos. That is the only two options. Okay. Next, tuple. Here for the tuple and the list, all properties are same. Everything is the same, sir. Only two changes are there. Can you please tell where we require to change? What changes are there, sir? Regarding only two changes are there. Everything is the same. Tuple and everything is the same. The very important point for the exam, a very important point for the exam, even for the interview. What is the difference between list and tuple? Okay, please make sure this point people should be aware. List is mutable. List is mutable. Mutable means okay, happily we are allowed to change the content. Tuple is immutable. Okay, the first change, of course, immutable. Once we create tuple object, we can't perform any changes related to that object. We can't perform any changes related to that object. So the main important difference between list and tuple is the content is always fixed. If it is the tuple, if it is the list, it is not. If it is the list, mutable, changeable, no problem. It's not your requirement. Happily we are allowed to change it. Based on your requirement, happily we are allowed to change it. No issue at all. Okay, like this. Next thing I'm trying to take. The next one, what we require to take care is, yes, it is here square bracket notation, but here yes, this notation is there. But it is one parenthesis notation. If it's the tuple, we are going to represent values by using parenthesis. Okay, remember that one. We are going to represent by using parenthesis like so. T is equal to something like within parenthesis, the sigma is going to come in the picture. Okay, so order will be preserved, heterogeneous objects are allowed, duplicates are allowed. Next, indexing and slicing are applicable. Everything is there. Only two changes. What is the first change? Instead of mutable, here immutable. Instead of square bracket notation, here we have okay parenthesis notation. Except that there is no other difference. Remember that. Okay. So when we should go for, what is the difference between list and tuple? List is always mutable. Tuple is always immutable. Except that all the remaining points are always the same. Any doubt? Are you able to get? Are you able to understand? Okay. So like if the content is keep on changing like Facebook comments, you know, sir, today only 10 comments, tomorrow 20 comments, day after tomorrow 30 comments, keep on adding, so another person removed his comment. Okay, if the content is keep on changing like Facebook comments, then we should use a list concept. Regarding if the content is fixed, sir, there is no change in the content. It's always fixed. Like input values to the vendor mission. Do you know vendor missions if you enter coin, if we enter coin, then automatically, if we enter coin, okay, sir, only allowed coins in this vendor machine. 5 rupees coin, 10 rupees coin only. By mistake, if you are using, sir, 1 rupee, 2 rupee coins, sorry, it is not going to be accepted. The allowed values are always fixed. The allowed values are always fixed. Then, if the content is fixed like input values like vendor machine, then we should go for tuple. Are you getting? Wherever my list is always fixed at runtime, that list is not going to be changed, sir. Happily better to go for tuple concept. Indexing, slicing, all those things are acceptable, no issue at all. Except these changes. That's why, can I use the word read-only version of list is nothing but tuple? Can I use the word read-only version of list is nothing but tuple? Yes, perfect. This is what you should have clarity about this terminology, right? Any explanation is required? What about list? What about tuple? Very important for the interview room also. That's what you should have clear clarity about this terminology, right? Okay. Now, sir, mutable, immutable. Can you please explain with a small chota example? Then we can get much clarity. Yeah, why not? Here, see this one. See this, L is equal to 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40. 40. Sir, print before I'm taking, what is the content of L? Before line. Sir, L of 0 is equal to 7777 like this. Print of after sir L. Okay, before modification, after modification. Can you please tell, is it valid or not? Yo, respond friends. Is it valid or not? Is it valid or not? Yes. Yes, because list is changeable, mutable. Yes, before 10, 20, 30, 40. After 7777, 20, 30, 40. Perfect. Allowed, sir. Now, why don't you take t is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. 40. Print on before like this I'm taking before t, sir. Before t of 0 is equal to 7777. Print of after I'm taking. Okay. Can you please tell what the answer we are going to get now? Is it valid or invalid? That's what you should aware. Python virtual machine is going to give left and right. Left and right. Hey, it is a tuple, man. Read only. How you can change the content? How you can change the content? Sorry, not possible, man. Sorry, not possible. Like this, it's going to tell. Tuple, item-wise assignment not possible in the tuple. Are you getting? Tuple type error. A tuple object does not support item assignment. Tuple object does not support item assignment. This is the error by default you are going to get. Any doubt? Okay. Yeah. That's it. Array list of string L is equal to new array list of string. Now type safety. Okay, by default we are going to get because of this new syntax. Now this array list can take only string objects. Okay, well, excellent, man. Okay, well, but the problem with the Python is Python we never want to talk about type. Again, based on your provided value, type will be assigned. There is no way to declare type in Python. So there is no way to declare type in the Python. Based on your provided value, the type will be assigned automatically. Sir, if you can't specify the type, where is the type safety? Are you getting? Where is the type safety? That's why type safety, such type of terminology is not applicable for the Python. It is the dynamically typed programming language. Remember that. Siddesh? So, generic such type of concept not required for the Python because we never want to specify the type explicitly in Python. That's what you should give. So, the doubt is very clear. Sir, in Java we have generic concept to provide type safety. In Python, do you have any such type of concept? So no such type of concept. Of course, that concept is not required in Python. Manoj, nothing. There is no other differences. Don't worry. Even IDLE we never going to use. Ignore. Yeah.